The signal from beyond. Throughout the vastness of the Milky Way, planets were classified by the Galactic Concord according to their habitability. Class A worlds were paradise planets, temperate climates, breathable atmospheres, minimal predators. At the other end of the spectrum were Class D worlds, the death worlds, planets with crushing gravity, toxic atmospheres, extreme temperature variations, aggressive ecosystems, and unpredictable tectonic activity. Worlds where every day was a fight for survival. Earth was classified as Class D. To the rest of the galaxy, humans were an evolutionary anomaly, a sentient species that not only survived but thrived on a death world. The result was a species stronger, faster, more durable, and significantly more aggressive than most spacefaring civilizations. When humanity finally achieved faster-than-light travel and joined the Galactic Concord 50 years ago, they were met with a mixture of fascination and fear. That fear had shaped the restrictions placed upon Earth. Humanity could trade, establish diplomatic relations, and share knowledge. But military operations beyond their solar system were strictly prohibited. The Concord claimed it was to allow humanity time to acclimate to galactic society. In reality, it was to keep the Dithworlders contained. The United Earth Defense Force headquarters sat beneath the Rocky Mountains in what was once called North America. Deep within its chambers, Communications Officer Rhea Chen stared at her console as an encrypted signal pulsed through the quantum relay. "Admiral Kumar," she called out, her voice steady despite her rising pulse. "We're receiving a distress signal. It's coming from the Neridian homeworld." Admiral Vikram Kumar, a veteran of Earth's final unification war, moved swiftly to her station. The Neridians, a peaceful aquatic species with advanced biotechnology, had been among the first to welcome humans into the galactic community. They had shared medical technology that had saved billions on Earth and had advocated for humanity when other species pushed for isolation. "Put it through," Kumar ordered. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a Neridian with iridescent blue scales that had dulled with stress and injury. Behind them, smoke filled what appeared to be an emergency bunker. "To any who receive this transmission, we are under attack. The Vex Carry Armada has breached our orbital defenses. Our cities burn. Our people are being systematically exterminated. The Concord Council has been informed but claims intervention would risk galactic stability. We have days, perhaps hours. The Vex Carry cannot be reasoned with. They take no prisoners. If anyone can hear us, please help." The transmission ended abruptly. The control room fell silent. "Get me the Secretary General," Admiral Kumar said finally, "and prepare the war room. We need to brief the Security Council immediately." 3 hours later, Earth's highest military and political leaders gathered in the reinforced chamber deep beneath the mountains. Secretary General Amara Okonkwo stood before them, her usual diplomatic composure replaced by barely contained fury. "The Concord has denied our request to aid the Neridians," she announced. "They cite our treaty restrictions and claim that a peacekeeping force will be dispatched within 2 weeks to assess the situation. In 2 weeks, there won't be any Neridians left to save," General Santos of the Marine Division growled. "Which is precisely why we're not going to wait for permission," Secretary General Okonkwo replied. The room fell silent. "The Neridians helped us when the rest of the galaxy would have happily left us isolated. I will not abandon them to genocide while bureaucrats debate the political implications." Admiral Kumar stepped forward. "I've already prepared a response plan. The UEF's Dauntless Battle Group is currently on exercises at the edge of our system. Captain Elena Martinez commands the group. She's the best we have." On the tactical display, the holographic representation of 7 warships appeared. At their center was the UEF's Dauntless, an advanced destroyer designed specifically for rapid response missions. "The Vex Carry outnumber us significantly," Kumar continued, "but they've never encountered humans in combat. They evolved on a Class B world with minimal environmental challenges. Everything we know about their tactics suggests they rely on overwhelming force rather than adaptability. And if we fail? Asked the defense minister. The Concord could impose sanctions, revoke our membership. If we do nothing, interrupted Okonkwo, then what was the point of joining the galactic community at all? To trade technology, to establish diplomatic niceties while our allies are slaughtered. That's not why Earth unified. That's not why we reached for the stars. The vote was unanimous. Operation Lifeline would commence immediately. Captain Elena Martinez stood on the bridge of the Dauntless, watching her crew prepare for battle with practiced efficiency. At 38, she had spent half her life in space, rising through the ranks based on tactical brilliance and unwavering determination. When Admiral Kumar's orders had come through, she had felt not surprise but a grim sense of purpose. "Status report," she demanded. Commander Jackson, her executive officer, approached with a tablet. "All ships report ready, Captain. Marine contingent prepped for ground deployment. Medical teams standing by. We'll reach the Neridian system in approximately 43 hours at maximum FTL." Martinez nodded, studying the tactical projections. The Vex-Carry fleet. Intelligence reports 35 warships in orbit around Neridia, mostly destroyers with 3 capital ships. Their ground forces are already deployed in the major population centers. Jamming capabilities. Advanced but designed for Concord standard communications. Our quantum entanglement relays should cut through it. Martinez turned to face her crew. Every person on the bridge watched her intently. They all understood the stakes, not just for the Neridians, but for humanity's place in the galaxy. "We all know the Concord restrictions," she said calmly. "We all know what we risk by doing this. But the Neridians called for help, and we're answering. That's what humans do." The journey passed intense preparation. Marines trained in combat simulations calibrated for Neridian environments. Engineers maximized shield efficiency and weapon systems. Medical personnel prepared for potential Neridian casualties, studying their unique biology. In her quarters, Martinez reviewed everything known about the Vex-Carry, a species that had emerged as a galactic power only in the last century. They were conquest-driven, stripping planets of resources, and either enslaving or eliminating indigenous populations. Their technological advancement came not through innovation, but through assimilation of conquered civilizations. "Why target the Neridians?" she muttered to herself. The aquatic species had few natural resources on their oceanic homeworld. Their value lay in their biotechnology, particularly their medical advances. A cold realization settled in her gut. The Vex-Carry weren't after resources. They wanted the Neridian biotech capabilities, technology that could potentially be weaponized. The final hours of FTL travel passed in silence. When the battle group dropped into normal space at the edge of the Neridian system, tactical sensors immediately lit up with enemy signatures. "Vex-Carry fleet in orbit around Neridia," reported Lieutenant Commander Rice at Tactical. "Detecting heavy bombardment of the northern hemisphere. Multiple city-sized thermal blooms consistent with orbital strikes." "Life signs?" Martinez asked quietly. "Scattered. Mostly concentrated in the underwater habitats and deep-sea trenches. The Vex-Carry ground forces are deploying submersibles to reach them." Martinez's jaw tightened. "Battle formation Delta. All ships to combat readiness. Deploy electronic countermeasures and prepare kinetic strike packages. Target their capital ships first." As the Earth fleet accelerated toward Neridia, they were detected by Vex-Carry sensors. A communication request flashed on Martinez's command console. "Put it through," she ordered. The screen revealed a Vex-Carry commander, tall, with gray-ridged skin and cybernetic implants visible along the left side of their face. "Unidentified vessels, this is Supreme Commander Zarvos of the Vex-Carry Dominion. You have entered a military engagement zone. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed." Martinez stood, meeting the alien's gaze without flinching. "This is Captain Elena Martinez of the United Earth Defense Force. We received a distress call from the Neridian government, our allies. We're here to render aid. The Vex-Carry commander's expression shifted to something between surprise and amusement. Earth, the Death World. I was unaware your species had permission to engage in military operations beyond your system. We don't need permission to answer a call for help, Martins replied coldly. Cease your attack on Neridia and withdraw your forces immediately. You are outnumbered, human. You're 7 ships against our 35. Return to your world while you still can. Martinez smiled, a predator's smile that didn't reach her eyes. You've never fought humans before, have you, Commander? You're about to learn why they call Earth the Death World. She cut the transmission with a gesture. All ships, initiate attack plan Alpha. Release kinetic packages on my mark. The bridge crew worked with focused intensity, each movement precise and controlled. Packages away, announced Commander Jackson. In space, silent and nearly invisible, the kinetic strike packages, essentially massive tungsten rods, accelerated toward the 3 Vex-Carry capital ships. Designed to penetrate the strongest shields through sheer velocity and mass, they struck before the enemy could react. 2 capital ships shattered instantly, their hulls rupturing as the hypervelocity rods tore through vital systems. The battle had begun, and the galaxy was about to witness what happened when Deathworlders went to war. Deathworlders unleashed. The Vex-Carry fleet responded with fury, their remaining ships breaking orbit around Neridia to engage the human vessels. Energy weapons lanced across space, meeting the advanced shields of the Earth ships. Shields holding at 87%, reported Jackson as the bridge shuddered under the impact. They're trying to surround us. Standard encirclement tactics. Martinez had anticipated this. Execute pattern Hydra. Tell Captain Chen and Captain Okafor to implement their flanking maneuvers. The Earth battle group suddenly split, ships moving with a coordination that caught the Vex-Carry off guard. While 4 ships maintained the central engagement, the UESS Shanghai and UESS Lagos accelerated on seemingly suicidal vectors directly through the enemy formation. On the Vex-Carry command ship, Supreme Commander Zarvos watched in confusion. What are they doing? Target those 2 vessels immediately. But the human ships moved with unexpected speed and agility, their trajectories constantly adjusting in patterns too erratic for Vex-Carry, targeting systems to predict effectively. These were maneuvers developed by pilots who had trained in the unpredictable atmospheric conditions of Earth, who had learned to fly through hurricanes and magnetic storms. As the Shanghai and Lagos broke through the enemy formation, they unleashed a barrage of missiles, not at the Vex-Carry ships, but into seemingly empty space behind them. Proximity mines deployed. Chen reported over the secure channel. Excellent. Martins responded. All ships, execute Phase 2. The Earth vessels suddenly reversed course, accelerating away from the engagement. The Vex-Carry commanders, sensing victory, ordered pursuit directly into the field of cloaked proximity mines. Explosions blossomed in the darkness as ship after ship triggered the devices. 8 enemy vessels disabled or destroyed, Jackson reported. They're regrouping, shifting to defensive positions around their remaining capital ship. Martinez nodded. Deploy the Marine contingent. Get them to those underwater habitats before the Vex-Carry can reach the survivors. In the launch bay of the Dauntless, Colonel Dant Rivera addressed the assembled Marines. Each soldier wore powered armor designed specifically for underwater operations, technology originally developed for exploring Earth's crushing deep-sea trenches. The Neridians are counting on us, Rivera stated simply. We go in fast, we establish a perimeter around the survivors, and we hold until Captain Martinez secures orbit. The Vex-Carry have never fought humans before. Let's show them why that was their mistake. The drop ships launched, streaking toward Neridia's vast oceans. Vex-Carry interceptors moved to engage them, but found themselves harassed by Earth fighters deployed as escort. What followed was a dogfight unlike anything the Vex-Carry had experienced. Human pilots executing maneuvers that seemed to defy physics, their reaction times impossibly fast compared to the enemy pilots. These were humans who had evolved on a high-gravity world with unpredictable environments. Their neural pathways optimized for split-second decisions, their vestibular systems adapted to handle extreme accelerations that would render most other species unconscious. As the dropships splashed down in Neridia's azure oceans and submerged toward the deep habitats, the Marines prepared for underwater combat. They found the Vex-Carry submersibles already breaching the outer habitats, their soldiers moving methodically through the structures. Colonel Rivera's voice came through the tactical net. "Remember your training. Water resistance affects projectile weapons. Switch to sonic pulses and plasma cutters for close engagements." The humans moved through the water with an efficiency that belied their terrestrial evolution. On Earth, exploring the crushing depths of their own oceans had been a challenge almost equal to space exploration. The equipment and techniques developed for those expeditions now proved invaluable. The first engagement caught the Vex-Carry completely unprepared. They had expected token resistance from the remaining Neridian security forces, not the arrival of human Marines. The sound-based weapons developed specifically for underwater combat disoriented the Vex-Carry soldiers, whose hearing was more sensitive than humans. At close quarters, the superior strength of the Deathworlders proved decisive. In orbit, the battle continued to rage. The Dauntless shuddered as Vex-Carry weapons fire impacted its shields. "Shields at 42%, Jackson reported. "Engineering reports they can't maintain this level of protection for more than 20 minutes. Martinez studied the tactical display. The Earth ships had destroyed or disabled 17 enemy vessels, but they were still outnumbered. The remaining Vex-Carry capital ship hung back, coordinating the attack while staying out of direct engagement. "We need to take out their command vessel," Martinez decided. "Prepare the spear." Jackson's eyes widened slightly. The spear was an experimental weapon, a focused gravitational distortion originally developed to clear asteroid fields. Its use in combat had never been authorized by the Concorde. "Captain, if we use that." "The Concorde already considers us in violation." Martinez cut him off. "If we're going to be punished anyway, we might as well ensure we succeed in our mission." She opened a channel to the other ship captains. "All vessels, converge on coordinates Delta 7. Create a gap in their formation. I need a clear shot at their command ship." The Earth fleet executed a complex series of maneuvers, absorbing punishing fire as they forced a corridor through the enemy formation. The Dauntless accelerated directly toward the opening. Its engines pushed beyond safety parameters. "Spear charged and ready," reported the weapons officer, voice tight with tension. "Fire." From the bow of the Dauntless, a barely visible distortion wave erupted, traveling through space at near-light speed. When it reached the Vex-Carry command ship, the effect was catastrophic. The gravitational weapon didn't damage the ship directly. Instead, it created a momentary distortion in spacetime that twisted the vessel's structural integrity field. Hull plating crumpled inward as if crushed by an invisible fist. On the surface of Neridia, Colonel Rivera and his Marines had established defensive positions around the largest underwater habitat complex. Inside, thousands of Neridian civilians huddled in fear as the sounds of combat echoed through the structure. A Neridian elder approached Rivera, her movements graceful despite the obvious injuries she had sustained. "You came," she said simply, her translator converting the aquatic language to standard Galactic. "The Concorde abandoned us, but Earth came." "We don't abandon allies," Rivera replied. "Captain Martinez is clearing orbit. Once it's secure, we'll evacuate as many of your people as we can fit on our ships." The elder's large, iridescent eyes studied him. "Why would you risk Concorde sanctions for us?" Rivera thought about Earth's history, how isolation and conflict had nearly destroyed his species before they had finally unified and reached for the stars. "Because too often in our own history, we stood by while atrocities happened. We learned that lesson the hard way." A Marine rushed up to Rivera's position. "Colonel, we've captured a Vex-Carry officer. You need to hear this." The prisoner, secured in adaptive restraints, glared at Rivera with undisguised hatred. "You've doomed yourselves, human. The Concord will punish your interference." "Why attack the Neridians?" Rivera demanded. "Their world has few valuable resources." The Vex Carry made a sound that might have been laughter. "Resources? We didn't come for minerals or metals. We came for their bioengineering research, specifically their work on genetic adaptation." A cold realization settled over Rivera. "You were after their climate adaptation technology. Their research would have allowed us to engineer our soldiers to survive on any world, even death worlds like Earth." The Vex Carry confirmed with malicious satisfaction. "You think your biological advantages make you special? We would have equalized that advantage. The next time we met in battle, it would be on equal terms." Rivera's communicator chirped before he could respond. It was Martinez. "Colonel, we've secured orbit. The remaining Vex Carry vessels are retreating. Begin evacuation procedures immediately." The aftermath unfolded over the following days. Earth ships transported over 50,000 Neridian refugees back to human space, a fraction of their population, but enough to ensure their civilization would survive. The data cores containing their advanced biotechnology research were secured before the Vex Carry could obtain them. 2 weeks later, Captain Martinez stood before the Earth Security Council, officially receiving both commendation and censure for her actions. The Concord had, as expected, imposed sanctions on Earth for violating the military restrictions of their treaty. Was it worth it? Secretary General Okonkwo asked her privately after the formal hearing. Martinez handed her a tablet displaying a message from the Neridian survivors. They had been granted asylum on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, where the subsurface ocean provided an environment similar to their homeworld. "They're calling it New Neridia," Martinez said. "Their scientists are already collaborating with ours on adapting more of the moon for their physiology. And they've shared something else with us: complete technical specifications for their most advanced biomedical systems. Technology they wouldn't share even with the Concord." Okonkwo smiled slightly. "So not only did we save an allied species, but we gained technology that will save countless human lives." "There's more," Martinez continued. 3 other species have reached out through unofficial channels. They've watched what happened, how Earth responded when the Concord wouldn't. They're interested in forming direct alliances with us, outside Concord protocols." The Secretary General's expression grew serious. "The galaxy is changing, Captain. The Concord has maintained stability for centuries, but at the cost of justice in too many instances. Perhaps it's time for a new approach." Across the Sol system, humanity processed the implications of their first military engagement beyond their borders. They had violated Concord restrictions, faced a numerically superior enemy, and prevailed. The message to the galaxy was clear: Earth would not be contained, and humans would not abandon those who called for help. On the edge of explored space, the remnants of the Vex Carry fleet regrouped. Supreme Commander Zarvos, one of the few senior officers to survive the engagement, reviewed the battle footage obsessively. The humans had fought with a ferocity and adaptability that shocked him, their ships maneuvering in ways his tacticians had declared impossible, their soldiers displaying physical capabilities that defied conventional understanding. "We underestimated them," he admitted to his war council. "We saw their treaty restrictions and assumed weakness. We were wrong." A subordinate spoke hesitantly. "The Dominion Council demands an explanation for our failure." Zarvos turned from the tactical display. "Tell them we've discovered something far more valuable than Neridian biotechnology. We've identified the true threat to our expansion plans." His eyes fixed on the image of Earth floating in the holographic display. "And next time, we'll be prepared for the Deathworlders."